Five, four, three, two, and one.
You're listening to WSBU 88.3 The Buzz here at St. Bonaventure up in the Riley Center. I'm your news director, Cassie Cavathis, and I'm here with my special guest, University President Dr. Jeff Gingerich and Alan Riddle, who's the Director for Annual Giving. And I want to welcome all of our on-air and online listeners. I'll be talking to Dr. Gingerich and Alan and asking them some questions about the Bolder Bonaventure Ignite, Invest, Inspire campaign, which is the largest fundraising campaign in the university's 164-year history. And we'll specifically today be talking about the Bonaventure Fund. I'm also taking your guys' questions. Tweet the Buzz's Twitter account at WSBU. Tag the account using hashtag of Bolder Bonaventure along with your class number when you post a question. So a lot has changed since Dr. Gingerich was last on my show. I had him before he officially took the role as president. I had him last spring. So how does it feel to kind of be on the show now after having a little bit of your feet right up in Bonaventure territory?
Well, it's great to be back, and I still remember that interview. I was sitting in my office in Scranton, and I had hardly been to campus at that point. So I think a lot really has changed. I've gotten to know the campus better. I've gotten to know people on the campus, and it's been a great about 8.5 months so far. And so there's been no regrets. I've loved being at St. Bonaventure.
And we're happy to have you back up here, rooting for student media. Alan, I wasn't sure. I heard that you graduated from here. Were you super involved in the Buzz? Did you ever come up here? What was your experience?
I was not super involved. A couple of my friends did have shows, and when I had time to kill, maybe after class, or maybe I just decided not to go to the class that day, I would pop in. I would pop into their show.
So it's great to have you guys up here for my show. I love hosting people, and this is our final part of the Bolder Bonaventure interview series. So it's a little sad, but we're ending with a bang by having you both on here. So let's jump into some of the questions we have. Could you explain what the Bonaventure Fund is and kind of how it got started?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for asking. The Bonaventure Fund is it's the university's annual giving program. So it runs based on the university fiscal year, which is June 1st through May 31st. And it's a fund that alumni contribute to, and it supports the university's most critical needs. Alumni, parents, and friends give back to the university.
So how does this Bonaventure Fund kind of fit into the overall campaign as a whole?
Yeah, so we've been working through the campaign, which just publicly launched this fall, and so we've been kind of the silent phase of it for a while, and now this past fall we've been out on the road talking about the campaign, and every time we talk about it, we talk about the importance of the Bonaventure Fund. And so the campaign, the Bolder Bonaventure campaign, is for all those extra things that we want to do, that a lot of those are kind of building things and those kind of things. But the Bonaventure Fund is the foundation of everything we do. And so we really try to emphasize, if you really want to have an impact on students, continue to give to the Bonaventure Fund, because that's the foundation of everything we do. And it really, one of the things I've been saying out on the campaign trail as we've talked about the campaign, is the ways that being very confident that if you give to the Bonaventure Fund or to the campaign, you're going to impact students' lives. And so it's things like, service activities like Bona Buddies, all the great clubs that we do. I saw the best dance show by the Asia Club a couple weeks ago, those kind of things. There's so many of that stuff we do, including student media, right? But then also student scholars, those kind of things are so important, and all these things the Bonaventure Fund kind of feeds into and are so important. Academic support, that's the thing that really helps us through the Bonaventure Fund.
Yeah, when I think about the Bonaventure Fund, I really bring it back to my I'm up here in the Buzz a lot. I am downstairs in the BV newsroom. And just with student media, us both being clubs, we are funded partly by the Bonaventure Fund through SGA. So it's really great that by giving back to the community, you're directly affecting like what I do on my day-to-day here on campus. And also, I heard that we're having a Bona Giving Day coming up. Is that directed with the Bonaventure Fund? And how is that Bona Giving Day? What is it? Why are we doing it?
It is. It's coming up on Wednesday, March 15th. And Bona Giving Day, this is going to be our 8th Bona Giving Day. Actually, I can't believe it's been that many already. But I had a full head of hair when we started doing Bona Giving Day. No, but Bona Giving Day, it becomes a 24-hour event, which is when our alumni, parents, friends come together to support the Bonaventure Fund. And we started it out, I remember we started it in 2016, and we were just throwing an idea around in the office and decided we weren't sure whether we were going to do it or not, whether it would be successful or anything like that. And finally we decided, you know what, let's just give it a shot and we'll see what happens. And we raised over $200,000 in that 24-hour period. It was fantastic, and it all went towards the Bonaventure Fund, which helps finance
every year, and it's only
Dr.
grown in
Gingerich
support.
mentioned.
Last
And
year
we've
we
kept doing it
raised
every year, and it's only $70,000 in that 20 and over 1,300 donations.
So
we're trying to make
that day a kind of a fun day, you know, and because one thing I've learned about St. Bonaventure is it's all chips, and it's all about kind of coming together, doing things together. And so I'll be kind of getting on an alumni talk at that night, and just kind of talking with alums and about things. And then that morning, one of the crazier things I'm going to do, which I think was my idea originally, and I'm not quite sure why I uttered it, but we're going to do a joint Peloton session. And so at 7 a.m. that morning, we've started advertising it. I'll be on a bike, and then we're trying to get as many others, putting on the hashtag Go Bonnies there, high-fiving each other, and spending 20 minutes listening to 80s music and probably doing a little bit of pedaling. So I need to actually get back on that bike this weekend, because I haven't been on there a whole lot lately. So.
And I'll tell everyone, Dr. Gingerich personally selected the music.
I did, yeah.
Yes.
It's going to be some good 80s tunes there. So, yeah.
Are you like a frequent Peloton user, or are you out of the loop and it's going to be a little bit of a struggle to get up there?
Cassidy, you're putting me on the spot here. I was doing so good through the end of 2022. I was 3 or 4 times a week. I was on there and loving it, and you can tell, my wife will tell you, I was like singing along with the tunes, and I was getting in shape. Then 2023 hit, and I have through. So 3. So this is good motivation for me to get on. All right, and Bonaventure and our students.
And last I checked, I think we had about 25 to 30 have signed up for that
That's
already.
great.
So,
yeah. And I'm hearing from my friends at other schools too, who are going to join us as well. So
It's not, and to watch you kind of get back on the bike.
interesting is a good word for it.
That's interesting is a good word for it.
So jumping a little bit back to what is supported by the Bonaventure Fund, are scholarships and endowment scholarships kind of included in that as well, besides just clubs overall?
Yeah, scholarships are a huge portion of what the Bonaventure Fund supports, actually. 99% of the students that come to Bonaventure get some type of scholarship aid. It's what helps make Bonaventure affordable, and it helps make a Bonaventure education accessible to students from all backgrounds. And a large portion of donations to the Bonaventure Fund go directly to support students and their scholarship aid, so it helps them immediately.
There's nothing that breaks my heart more than having a student who loves being here at Bonaventure and is a great fit here, or wants to be at Bonaventure and just can't quite afford to be here. So these are so important for us, these kind of scholarships, just to help those students, to make sure that if you want to be at Bonaventure, you can be here.
One connection I would make between a successful Bonaventure Fund and student enrollment is last year was a record for the Bonaventure Fund, fundraising wise. Over $3 million was raised from our supporters. Everybody came together like they never have before, and I don't think it's any coincidence that freshman enrollment was at a 20-year high, because it opens up, it makes more financial aid available for those students to get them in here.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the scholarships I received in the beginning. And my brother actually just committed to St. Bonaventure yesterday, and he wouldn't have committed if it wasn't for the scholarship aid we were getting and a little bit of the older sister nagging. So just that it alone makes such a world of difference. Whoa. I'm getting back onto the mic like you're getting it back on the bike, it seems. So just with the freshman class alone, hopefully next year we get that same kind of drive, and really the Bonaventure Fund can make that difference.
That's awesome.
We're
We're
gonna
welcome your brother.
your brother in next
Really makes a big difference.
send him a T-shirt or whatever it is. It really makes a big difference. That we keep up enrollment in this way. And you're right, scholarships.
But also,
are so
things
important.
like students hosting, seeing a radio station, seeing some of the things we want to do with the campaign for a new radio station. Those are all things that are really attractive for students.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this will actually, we talked about it earlier in my series when I talked to Dean Chimble, but we'll be moving this radio station out of the RC where we are right now. But just all of this in the campaign is making a world of difference for the student experience, the academic experience, just on campus. And I can't wait for alumni to come back and be like, whoa, is this the same Bonaventure I was at when I went here?
That's for sure, right?
Especially in that Jandoli school. I've been telling people I believe strongly we have one of the top communication programs in the country, but we need the facilities to kind of match that, and that's the Bolder Bonaventure campaign is going to build those that I think will be a lot of fun when you come back and visit, and we'll have to put you on another radio show when you come back and visit, Cassidy.
Of course, I can't leave the radio station. Once you start, you can never stop.
There you go.
So I have a question from Paul, who's from the class of 74. He wanted to know how close are we today to achieving that 125 million mark? Is this in pledges, cash donations? What's kind of happening on the how much we've made scale?
Well, the campaign total, it includes cash and pledges. A lot of times donors make a multi-year pledge. So say a $100,000 pledge to the capital campaign, divided up, they'll pay that in 5 installments, typically. I believe as of today, the campaign is just under $93 million total.
Which is great. That's a $125 million goal. And it blows me away sometimes that people's, and how grateful we are to people.
Alums and friends out there are so passionate about this place and they want to make a difference, and so that's a lot of money, and so we have a long ways to go yet to get to the $125 million goal, but we're really set on a great track for that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about that. We started that public part of this campaign last semester, and we're already hitting closer and closer to our goal as the year goes on. So it's insane to think of how big that number is in scale and how much change it can make for everyone on campus and every student who goes through here. A little bit more questions from Paul. Are there any institutions that are willing to give more based on the percent of alumni who made some or any overall contribution to the capital campaign?
Yeah, I've seen there are private foundations who will make grants, and on occasion you will find a grant application where they want to know what is your percentage of alumni support. And there are cases where if you don't hit a certain percentage of support, you probably shouldn't even bother putting in that grant, because it means they're not going to take a second look or approve you for it. So yes, the more alumni who do give back to the university, the greater the chances the university has to gain support from private foundations.
Yeah, it's really symbolic, I think, in a lot of ways for grant foundations and for everyone. The higher percentage that we can say of alums, the more that people realize that that's a special place, and their alumni really feel strongly that that's a special place. And so we generally are above the norm for the number of percentage of alums who give, and that says something really positive about St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, we're very blessed when it comes to alumni participation. The people listening may not think it sounds great because we're at a 20% participation rate, and I pay a lot of attention to our peer schools are doing, how well they're doing fundraising wise, and we knock them out of the water when it comes to alumni participation, which is just fantastic. And it's what keeps Bonaventure strong, and it keeps the legacy alive so that current and future students get to attend and get to experience people.
It's a venture thing too, like it's same thing that we talk about it in athletics a lot of times, but it happens in so many ways. We're not a big school. We're a small school who does big things, and that's kind of what we're moving forward in Bolder Bonaventure here. I've been amazed as I've gone out and watched the success of some of our alums. They're just out there doing great things, and they came from this somewhat smaller school in Olean, New York, and just are out there doing incredible things. And so we need to continue to talk about those big things that we do. And alumni giving ranks right up there with some of our most positive things.
When I think of Bonaventure from the perspective of a student, I think about from day one in the door, even when haven't committed yet, of how much alumni support we receive. And another thing that I think about is 2 of my roommates work for Bonathon, which if you've gotten a call asking for donations, you've probably heard their voices. Awesome. And just the alumni that want to talk, have stories of their time here to share, who want to give no matter how big or how small. The alumni support we get at Bonaventure is unlike any other school, given I'm a little biased in saying that, but I haven't seen any of my friends at other institutions feel the same love from alumni like you get at Bonaventure.
Cassidy, I've been telling people when
I was first applying for the job, and just early on, everybody said, "Oh, Bonaventure alums, they're crazy."
Everybody says that, every university says that, but it took about 2 weeks for me to realize these alums are passionate, and it's more than any place else I've ever seen. And that's love. That's a love that just kind of carries through the whole community here. And so it makes it a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I've taken friends of mine who did not attend Bonaventure. I've taken them to Bonaventure alumni events before. And I remember one friend in particular, after the event, he looked at me and just said, "You guys are crazy." I talked to maybe 3 people I graduated college with, and he couldn't believe it. And it's just second nature to all of us here, which is what makes it so much fun.
And that really plays through so often is that as I go out to these alumni events, how many people I meet who have a group of friends from their Bonaventure days, when it could be 70s, 80s, 90s, who they'll text every day. They'll have a group text that they stay in touch. They vacation together. They do all this stuff together because of the bonds they formed here, and that's something really special about Bonaventure, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think of back in last spring with that NIT tournament and how many Bonnies showed up for that day. Just we're always coming out, I would say the word cult-like, because we're a little crazy in that aspect that we are there for each other in every way. Another question from Paul, class of 74. Can any of this 125 million be used to start new departments or schools that are in tune with the university's goals and also the national job market?
Yeah, that's a great questions by Paul today. Coming through with them.
He's our star questionnaire right now.
MVP with the questions. Yeah. No, that's exactly what Bolder Bonaventure is all about, moving forward. It's all about anticipating the future, looking 5 to 10 years down the road. And so a big portion of the Bolder Bonaventure campaign is with the health professions school. And what that has done for us, the School of Health Professions, has helped to create new programs that have really taken us to a new level. And that's both on the undergraduate and the graduate lens. And so we have 5 pillars altogether. I should probably just go through those very quickly. That School of Health Professions, Jandoli School of Communications, athletics, then what we call student experience, or the undergraduate student experience, and then our Franciscan mission and tradition. And so both the School of Health Professions is majorly moving forward. We are using the Jandoli portion to really move forward with new programs. Athletics programs will be able to have increase our support for athletic programs and really begin to think about new facilities and programs for that. We're always thinking about, the future. What don't we have now that the world needs and that our students want to take? And so we'll continue to look at other new programs, and the Bolder Bonaventure Fund helps us to invest in those new programs so that we can build them out to bring students in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so great questions by Paul there. I know in that last question, he said something about engineering in that kind of sphere, and that is something that is one of those lenses that will look as we keep moving forward, because we're kind of tackling a lot here with those 5 pillars.
Yeah, and engineering is one of those disciplines that we actually have a number of alums who have been a physics major or different kinds of major who have gone on into
engineering degrees. And so it's time for us to kind of look, is this a program that would be right for us? And would we be able to bring students here for that? And then how does it fit within our mission and tradition? And so we're really looking into that right now, actually.
Kind of segueing back a little to Bona Giving Day. Did we say which day it was earlier? I'm completely blanking.
It is next Wednesday, March 15th. So it's a 24-hour event. We actually have a couple of new things planned this year for Bona Giving Day. We have alumni in 15 different chapters have worked really hard with the Alumni Services Office to put together a series of happy hours that will be happening just that evening. So we're sending out invitations, been going out for about a week. We just sent out some more today, and I think we have around 200 are registered at these happy hours throughout the country, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of a new element to add to the day, which makes it pretty neat. The other thing that's going to be happening leading up towards Bona Giving Day is Tuesday is Bona Pride Day. It's a day where Bona alumni are encouraged to wear their Bonaventure gear, wear it to work, get some photos, and submit it to the Bonaventure Alumni Office. And one of the neat things we'll have this year is Bonnies who participate in Bona Giving Day, our social media contest, and Bona Pride Day will be eligible to wear some of our really fancy Bonaventure socks. So we're looking forward to that. One of the other really important things that makes Bona Giving Day so successful and why alumni should contribute on the particular day is we always get some alumni come forward, and they also always issue giving challenges. So, for example, if 100 people donate within the next hour, someone will tell us, well, I'll give $10,000 if that can. We almost always exceed these challenges, and it's really another way for the donor to make their dollar go the extra mile and have a more immediate impact. In fact, we actually, for the first time this year, we have a challenge that came in early. The Holy Name Province of Franciscan Friars is doing a dollar-for-dollar match of the first $50,000 that we're able to raise for Bona Giving Day. So it's one of the most generous challenges we've had so far, and I think it's going to be a big help.
So Tuesday the 14th is
Bona Pride.
Bona Pride Day. Wednesday the 15th is Giving Day.
Yep.
You should come up with a jingle for that or something. Get it
We'll
in their
work on
minds.
it after. We have a studio. We
There
can
you
work
go.
on it
All
right
right,
after
good,
this.
good. We'll expect that.
We got to get him in the recording booth. He's
There
got to
you
make a commercial for us.
He's your man.
I know if we were talking about Bona Pride Day, I always see at least one dog in a Bona t-shirt. So if I can see that, that's more than my expectations match.
We'll have both of our dogs dressed up, and I'll send you a picture, Cassidy.
All right.
They're pretty cute in their Bona outfits.
So donating is so important, not only on Bona Giving Day, but any day or any moment that you can. Why is it so crucial to donate to the Bonaventure Fund overall or the campaign overall?
Well, I always like to start by saying that Bonaventure itself was started because of an act of philanthropy. Nicholas Devereaux, back in the 1850s, donated 200 acres of land, which is where we're sitting today. And ever since, alumni supporters have been giving back to the university. The annual fund actually started in, I think, the year 1888. It was called the Alumni Fund back then. But it's giving back has always been a part of Bonaventure, we know. And a reason that people should keep giving is to preserve that legacy. When anyone was here, when I was here as a student, Cassidy, you benefited from that donor support, and we need to continue to pay that forward to keep Bonaventure strong.
Yeah, as I've gotten out and met a lot of alums, which has been great because they just love this place so much, and they talk about their stories, about how it was transformational for them, how they, how it changed their life in so many ways and helped them in the careers. And I love doing that, but I always come away with it's kind of this tremendous weight of responsibility that we've got to keep this going, both for our current students like yourself, but for our future students. And so this is the way that we keep that tradition going, is by giving back, and then it's on us to make sure that we keep that tradition going. But we need those resources to continue that tradition and to continue to just have that same impact that St. Bonaventure always had.
So that was kind of our questions that we had structured out, but did you have anything that you wanted to touch on more, share with our community as we're leading into next week full of Bona Pride?
I'll say a few things and let Alan kind of wrap up. It's an exciting time for us right now, and at St. Bonaventure, enrollment's up. We have this campaign going on. It's a really great time for St. Bonaventure, and we need to keep that momentum going. And so that's why these days are so important. That's why this fund is so important. And then the Bolder Bonaventure campaign, those 5 pillars that we talked about, giving to both the annual fund and to the campaign, is really what we're asking people to consider, because that's what's going to set the future and keep us up on this upward momentum. And so it's an exciting time at St. Bonaventure, and we want to keep it exciting.
Yeah. One thing I'll say to piggyback off that, we talk about the Bonaventure Fund and the campaign. The campaign itself is comprehensive, which means every dollar donated to the university anywhere counts toward that campaign total. So when people support the Bonaventure Fund, when they give on Bona Giving Day, they're making a contribution to the capital campaign. So it's really a way to have a tremendous impact on the future of the university.
It's like the best of both worlds, a little bit of double dip in there.
Yeah,
That's right.
In fact, that overall campaign total that we talked about earlier, I think 16 to 17% of that is alumni contributions to the Bonaventure Fund.
So I'd like to thank Dr. Gingerich and Alan for coming up on my show today. I hope we all enjoyed learning more. And this is about wrapping up our Bolder Bonaventure interview series. You can always watch all of them back on SBU's website. I would like to thank you for tuning in to WSBU 88.3 The Buzz. I'm Cassidy, and I hope you have a great day.